So these poor children were not even attending school because they were trying to be human scarecrows, to scare off the parrots. So this is working out pretty well. It's a temporary solution, but it's the only solution we have right now. So until somebody can think of something that'll work for long term.
Who has inspired both of you in this area? And maybe you can start with that, Marie.
Oh, I just fell in love with... We have 3 hyacinth macaws of our own. So I think Neva Gedge's project inspired me to see how organized she was and what a difference she made. And just putting up nest boxes so that the birds have places to reproduce. And she works in an area that's pretty protected. It's a resort as well. Part of the place where she works, it's in the Pantanal, and she's just done wonderful things. So I think she probably was the main person that showed us that this could be done. And she started about in 1990 with her project, and she's made a great difference. There's a lot of people that have made great differences, but I would say with the bird that she's working with, it's the largest parrot in the world and the most majestic and beautiful parrot in the world, that she's done wonders for it and put it on the map. So everybody knows. There's more birds now in the wild than there are in captivity, and that's wonderful.
That's great. I live in the San Gabriel Mountains near Pasadena, and there are thousands of parrots that fly over my home every day.
Right, Amazons. We've been there. We've taken pictures.
Where are they from?
Everybody has a story, a pet shop, they got loose from a pet shop that burned down, or everyone has a story.
Well, it must have been a coup then, a bird coup, because...
but there's so many, and there's so many different types of birds. There's conures and Amazons and all kinds of birds, and they all get together and they all roost in the same areas.
Well, there's a lot of action overhead every morning, and I love it.
That's great.
I totally love it. Mark, what about you? I know that you feel the same as Marie about who she's talking about, but is there any other people that you'd like to mention?
Well, each project has a hero, or many heroes, and so it's hard for me to pick any particular person. Another person we've grown very close to that is one of my heroes is Dr. Yara Barros, and she's been working with the Spix macaw in the field for years and the Lear's macaw. In the Puerto Rican Parrot Recovery Program, there's an entire team of people that get up in the morning at 3:30 in the morning and trudge through mud and rain uphill to get to the top of the mountain to sit in a blind all day and guard the few little nests that are left in the wild.
Wow.
Watch to see if a chick happens to fall out of the nest, then they go running as fast as they can through the forest to pick it up and save it before a mongoose can find it, and then bring it back and make sure it's healthy and get it back into its nest the next day. And they come back in the middle of the night by the time they're done. And these people do it every day, all day, every day they do this. People like Dr. Tom White and Fet Feliz, and they're just amazing. I mean, Marie and I were invited to go to. We were given an award by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service in the U.S. Capitol in the LBJ room, and they flew us there and gave us an award for the work we were doing to help support the government program, the Puerto Rican Parrot Recovery Program. And there were several people there, but when I stood up to accept the award, my bottom line was I didn't deserve anything. It was these heroes in the field that are making this their lives to try to save this bird. They're the people that deserve the awards. And that's how I feel. I'm in awe, and I will do everything I can to support these people that are trying to make a difference.
You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of true earth stewardship, where you have people on the ground, you have people right there, they're interacting, they're involved, and they're connected. And somehow, both of you have been able to harness this. It's beautiful.
Mark, maybe you should mention how Yara has educated the kids to watch out for poachers. And when we went there in a pickup truck, a bright red pickup truck, they mistook us for poachers. And this is in an area where the project had not been active for years. These are kids that had grown up with the project.
Yeah, we were going into the field, into the Spix macaw habitat. The Spix is gone. It had been gone for a while. And this really shows how important it is to reach the local community and the children, especially the children. So we to get into the field, we had to leave very early. We drove through, it was one small little village, dirt roads, 3 or 4 mud kind of homes, adobe mud homes. We had to drive through before daylight. We got way back on this. It wasn't even a road anymore. It was more like a goat track. And we got out, and then we got into the shade, and we were waiting for the local parrots to arrive. The local parrots that we're hoping in the future will help teach the Spix macaws how to survive in the wild when they're re-released. And so we were there, and it was about 10 o'clock in the morning when we were in the middle of nowhere, and we saw these figures walking way over by where we had parked our pickup truck. And then they came down through the bushes, exactly the track we had taken. And then when they went back up the riverbank and came back down behind this tree, and we felt like we were being stalked. And then they just kind of disappeared, and we didn't know where they were. And it's just Marie and I and Yara out in the middle of nowhere. And so it was a little unnerving. And then in the late afternoon, we got back in the truck. We were driving back, all the way back. It took us 2 hours to get back to this little place that we were staying in. And as we were driving through this same little village, all the people ran out and stood in the middle of the road. We realized they were children, and these were the figures that had tracked us on foot in 98-degree weather. They had tracked us all the way down, and when the car came back, they ran out and got the adults because they thought we were poachers.
God bless them. And God bless the work you're doing. That is really moving.
And they are the result. These are the children that are taught at the Spix Macaw School. So and these are the children that will be young adults when the Spix Macaw is reintroduced into their neighborhood, into their habitat. So that was very inspiring to see that these little kids had totally digested the conservation message.
It's profound. You know who would love the work that both of you are doing? The late Anita Roddick would so have loved to hear about your work. Do you know who she is?
No, I don't.
She was the founder of the Body Shop.
Oh, okay.
International, and she worked all over the world with indigenous people and set up a remarkable model for doing business based on compassion of selling products that were not tested on animals, did not use animal testing for cosmetics. But she was totally about what you do, the way that she was, the way that she worked with people, and she would have really loved your work. Her husband's still alive. I think Gordon would love your work too. Well, I'm so moved by what you're doing. Is there anything else that you both would like to share with us?
Let's see. Parrots International Symposium. Once a year, we put together it's now the largest annual parrot conservation conference, and it moves around. It's been in Los Angeles, the Southern California area several times. Next year, it will be in Miami, Florida. Well, this year, actually, in June of 2001, it'll be in Miami.
2011?
2011.
There you go.
Thank you so much.
Otherwise, we would be at a space oddity.
Yeah, there you go. June of 2011. And the information is on our website for the symposium, which is pisymposium.org.
What kind of people come to this? Describe the different kinds of people that will be there.
Very broad. We have people coming from conservation projects in third world countries, and then people that researchers and PhD people and donors from the UK, Denmark,